1961 was an interesting year. It was the year of President Kennedy's inauguration.
Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
The civil rights movement was still getting insane resistance all around the country.
You can never whip these birds if you don't keep you and them separate. I found that out in Birmingham. You've got to keep the white and the black separate.
The Cold War was in full swing, and so people were constantly worried that nuclear bombs were going to come dropping down out of the sky and on top of their heads.
Let us face, without panic, the reality of our times. The fact that atom bombs may someday be dropped on our cities. And let us prepare for survival, understanding the weapon that threatens us.
A nation was coming out of a revolution that put communism literally 100 miles away from American soil. Set against this volatile backdrop, The Troubles of Johnny Cannon tells a story about a 12-year-old kid who likes baseball, hunting, Superman, and Martha Macker, the girl that sits right in front of him at school that barely even knows he exists. Unfortunately for Johnny, that's the least of his troubles. See, his brother Tommy is a pilot for the Alabama Air National Guard, and he gets called away onto a top-secret mission that leaves Johnny and his pa to fend for themselves, which really means that Johnny's got to take care of everything, because Pa is not so good at taking care of the family, thanks partially to his injuries from World War II, and also thanks to some crazy new project he's got going on in the backyard with a Radio Shack and radioing across the world, and it's just insane. So Johnny has to take care of everything. The troubles pile up faster than the bills for Johnny, and he soon has to turn to the least likely of allies, Willie Parkins, the black preacher's kid from Colony, a city nearby Coleman. Together they try to figure out how to take care of all of Johnny's money issues. But even their best plan doesn't foresee the tornado that strikes Coleman, or the CIA agent who's hunting for somebody that matches Pa's description, or the letter that arrives telling the family that Tommy died in action. Now, I don't want to give away the ending, so I'm just going to tell you that The Troubles of Johnny Cannon is about a kid who has to face the Klan, dodge the CIA, and escape from Cuba to prove that his pa didn't sabotage the Bay of Pigs invasion. One of the central subplots, and really the inspiration for the story that I told, was the heroism of the Alabama Air National Guard as they were involved in the Bay of Pigs invasion. Now that's a story that not a lot of people know about, and that's kind of on purpose, because, well, just listen to what President Kennedy said in a phone call he made a couple of years later.
What happened on that? Did we paint out the markings on the plane? Yeah, painted out the markings of the plane. How many planes? And I think there were 3 planes. Yeah. And they flew air cover for an hour. Yeah. Unfortunately, between all of them, they got the hours mixed up. I think you gave them from 7 to 8 or something. Yeah. And they must have thought it was 7, CIA thought it was 7 to 8 Central American time. Yeah. So the result was that the B-26s came in an hour late and were all shot down. Yeah. Or 2 of them shot down. Yeah.
3 pilots, one of whom was the inspiration for Johnny's brother Tommy in my story. His name was Pete Ray, and he crash-landed into the island of Cuba on the day of the Bay of Pigs invasion. Fidel Castro had his body taken to his palace, put on ice, and he kept it there for decades just in case he needed to prove that America was actually involved in the Bay of Pigs invasion. One of the things that I hoped to do with this story was I wanted to pay homage to those heroes, and I wanted to do it in a way that was common for centuries in literature, although not so much since the 20th century. But that was, I wanted to create a little bit of a folk tale, a myth, a tall tale about these heroes. And that's what The Troubles of Johnny Cannon is. It's a little bit of fact, a little bit of folklore, and hopefully a whole lot of fun. I hope you like it.